Howdy! Welcome home. I'm your anime manga mom. It's so good to see you. I'm so glad you're back. Today we're going to be talking about my latest anime, obsession. That would be Tokyo Revenger. You probably know from the title. I've been watching Naruto and sub, but I ran out of episodes. And instead of going on to Shippuden, because one, I've already seen it, and so I'm wasting my time watching an episode that I've already watched. But Naruto was my first, so I wanted to kind of get a refresher. And I like listening in Japanese and expanding my skill. Even though that's about the only thing I'm doing at the moment. Let's see, I can't get my Kanji Garden app to really load, so I've just kind of stopped using it altogether, and that's really sad because I was about at 100 kanji that I understood. Anyway, so I was scrolling through Crunchyroll, seeing what they offered me to watch, and I started in with Tokyo Revenger. It's one of those things that, like, on TikTok or YouTube or wherever, if people talk about the anime that they love, if it lines up with anime that I love, they also usually include Tokyo Revenger. So it's one of those that I wanted to watch because it's similar to other anime that I appreciate. And so now I'm watching Tokyo Revenger because, I like the aesthetic of it. It looks really interesting. And, everybody's got really unique hairstyles. Let's see, Mikey and Draken, they both have kind of the same tone of blonde hair. But Draken's, looks like he walked straight out of the 90s. That hairstyle, like the shaved around the sides and back and just long on the top. Of course, most of the kids at my high school that wore hairstyles like that, they left it long and just straight instead of braiding it. But, you could braid it, and people did on occasion. But yeah, he looks very familiar to me anyway, without the tattoo. I do wonder about, all these kids in anime that get tattoos. Is it something that, is tattoos not as strictly, managed in Japan? Because in America, you have to be 18 or find a really unreputable person. And even still, they would maybe give you a tattoo if you're underage, but you got to be close. They wouldn't do it to somebody who was a middle school kid. That's just crazy. But all these middle school kids on anime are getting tattoos, and I'm wondering, is that just an anime thing? Because I'm guessing it's just an anime thing. Anyway, although, when I was 16, I did go to a party. Somebody had a tattoo gun, and they're like, "Hey, who wants a tattoo?" And my two friends that I were with are like, "Oh, I do." And one girl got a smiley face, right between her, thumb and pointer finger on that thin part of your hand. She got a little smiley face, and my best friend got her initials right there, and I was just like, no, I haven't seen your work. I do not trust your cleanliness practices, and it's just not gonna happen. So sorry. So it could be something like that, but I'm guessing that this is an anime-only phenomenon for the most part. Anyway, now to the anime. This is not something for younger teens. This is a very, very violent and mature-themed anime. People die horrific deaths, and you get to watch them. In every single episode, there's blood. There's punches, there's kicks, there's swollen faces and bloody noses, and people get hit upside the head with a metal pipe. And this is a violent, and there's talk of SA, and yeah, it's not for the faint of heart. So, but other than that, I really love it. I really love it, even the violent parts, because it's kind of, exploring parts of myself that I don't really have prominent. And I guess for, not for younger teens, but for older teens, you've already got all the adrenaline, you've got all the testosterone, you've got the innate, competitive nature that you want to explore and find, agency through the world. And watching it, watching somebody else go through it is kind of vicariously cathartic, you know? So I think it's a great show. I don't think it really doesn't promote violence so much, because you see people get in all these horrible situations, and I don't think that anybody would really want to, switch places. But the friendships are really great, and the lessons that people learn, it's good. The main character, Takemichi, I swear he is Deku's older brother. I mean, especially if you look at him in modern time, like in the future, then he even has the same like hair texture, face shape, eye shape, all that stuff. And so I'd say he's Deku's older brother. He even is a crybaby, and I understand why. Because you want to identify with the character. You want to be young and not know these things, and slowly over time, expand your agency, expand your control of your own emotions. But you don't want to lose that sensitivity. It's an important aspect of humanity. You want to be able to connect with other people on that level, and so you don't want to become inhuman. So watching a character that's already fully developed, it doesn't allow for as much of a character arc. But that's also why the main protagonist, is usually not my favorite character, because it's just not the station in life I am. So my favorite character so far is Draken. Mostly because he reminds me of the 90s, and I feel nostalgic when I see him. He's also very formidable, and he's very thoughtful. The episode where he goes to the hospital and pays his respect, that solidified him as my favorite character. He's like dragging Mikey along and like keeping him under wraps, and I think anybody who can keep Mikey in his place, has got something going on. I love the aesthetics of it. I love the black biker jackets with the embroidered white kanji on it. I'm gonna have to learn how to embroider now. That's just all there is to it. And I'm gonna need me one of these jackets ASAP. It does remind me of Fruits Basket, because Toru's mom was in a biker gang, and she was the Crimson Butterfly. So it does bring back memories of watching that, and that is one of my favorite animes. So, but yeah, I also like a couple other characters. There's one guy with like really white hair, and he's helping Takemichi out from time to time. He seems like a real cool guy. He's got kind of like the shaved eyebrow thing going on. Everybody has like a really unique look, because they're all wearing the same uniform. They're wearing the black jacket with the embroidery, but they all have like really unique hairstyles, hair colors. Because like I said, Mikey and Draken, they both have the same kind of tone blonde, but their hairstyles are way different. And then Takemichi, he's got a more yellow blonde, and then they've got the red hair. And then I was talking to Death Queen, and I was saying how I really like the characters' noses in this, because usually in anime they really simplify people's faces, and so the noses turn out to be like little shadows or little lines, like very, very simplistic noses, like this one right here, But in Tokyo Revengers, everybody has like really unique noses, and it really helps differentiate the characters, especially when they're all wearing the uniforms, because the hairstyles, the noses, the face shapes, everything is all so unique. I really like that. But if you can handle a little bit more like grit and mature themes, then I really recommend this. This is a great anime, and the lessons that you learn, you see people who mess around and find out, So you can learn valuable concepts without having to go through all the pain. So yeah, Tokyo Revengers is something that I'm going to binge watch. I even like the music. So there's the intro song. You got that piano that just gets in your head and starts living there rent free. And then you have, like, I've already I'm already on to the second ending song. The first one's really cool. It's got a kind of a lo-fi beat. I've been watching a lot of lo-fi on YouTube lately, loving that genre. But the second one really scratches my brain because the guy who sings in it, he has a very distinct accent. And I do not know enough about the Japanese language or regions to know if this is a dialect or if it's really just highly stylized. It's something that I'm going to have to research because the linguistic and anthropological studier in me is really fascinated by this, and I want to know why his accent is so unique in this song. Anyway, have you seen Tokyo Revengers? Would you recommend it? Who is your favorite character? Am I in for a ride? Do you think it's too violent? Is the manga more violent? Because it's one of those that I think the manga is going to be completely different. Like in Bleach, in the manga, somebody's arm would just get ripped right off. But in the anime, they just get a scratch on their arm. So usually in the manga, it's exactly what the mangaka, the author, wants you to see. And it's just as dark and gritty as they want it to be. But in the anime, they usually, make it more acceptable for multiple audiences, and they kind of tone it down a bit. So, is the manga different? Anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know what your favorite anime is. What have you been watching? And I highly recommend Tokyo Revengers. Go check it out. All right. Can't wait to see you next time. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.